as far as the men's draw, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that stands out, honestly, is it's unbelievable bottom heavy. You obviously have Novak being world number 1 and top seed in the top.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the bottom, wow. You got Fed, you got Murray, you got Nadal, you got Dimitrov, you got Robredo, you got the rising young stars in, Borna Koric from Croatia, Nick Kyrgios from Australia who beat Nadal at Wimbledon.
Mm.
You got all this going on, all in the same half. I mean, who knows? It's like, let's put it this way. In the bottom half of the men's draw, it's not going to take a whole lot of time before you start having these, potential moments, right? Or these sort of interesting kind of matchups. So look, it goes without saying on the bottom half that you've got Nadal, who's coming off the whole, barely played any matches in 7 months, injury, appendix surgery, all that kind of good stuff, right? But we all know what kind of comebacks he's made, the last couple times. So anything is possible with that guy. But, again, you just never know. So that's kind of interesting. Then you got Dimitrov, where, he's capable of pretty much almost everything. But he's never really made that sort of, that next step where everyone's saying, okay, when's he gonna, break through? When's he gonna break through and do it in the biggest stage? Murray's gonna be interesting because he's been kind of, I don't know, not really doing a lot. Like recently, he had kind of an ugly finish to the year in London, losing 0-1 to Fed, and then just kind of fizzled out. The thing that people seem to be talking about the most with Murray right now is that he's got a new logo. So I don't know if you've seen that, but actually, I think it's a great logo. So he's got, there's a lot of things going on with him. He recently, I believe he got engaged as well, recently to his longtime girlfriend. So, I'd like to see him do well, honestly, because I just think he's so good. And I think he brings sort of that extra. If you look at the top 4 guys, quite honestly, you got Federer, you got Nadal, you got Murray, and you got, Novak, right? Now, Stan Wawrinka is obviously
Stan
up
the
there.
man, yeah.
But I don't think he's really put into that, sort of category quite yet, even though he's up there and can play with those guys. But if you want to hear something interesting, I kind of look at Murray in that sort of wolf pack of 4 as like the villain. It's like everybody loves Novak for the most part. Everybody loves Fed. Everybody, takes to Rafa, you know what I mean, for a lot of obvious reasons. But Murray is kind of like the other guy. It's like people, you don't know whether you want to like him or whether, you know what I mean, like dislike him. He's kind of got that sort of attitude towards him, but it's going to be interesting. I mean, I think that, the as you mentioned the, the 5 sets, like best of 5, the physicality of it, right? I mean, that's why the men's side can be, I think, its own interesting sort of talking point, right? Because you get in the first couple matches, you get one of those guys that are just sort of gunning for you, and the next thing you know, you're out there for 4 hours, right? And no matter how fit you are, all the guys will tell you, and all the coaches of the guys will tell you that, look, the gas tank, it's only, you know what I mean? No matter how fit you are, the gas tank's only got so much, right? And then the reserves are so much. So I heard an interview with Hewitt. I think it was just yesterday I was watching a video interview of him. And, he makes it, look, the guy's a legend in the sport. He makes a good point. He's like, look, all the guys, your sole focus when you get to the slam is how do I get myself through the first week? That's it. How do I do that? If I can get myself, through that first week, those 3 matches or, however the draw, the schedule lays out, then I at least put myself in a position in week 2 to try to make like a full run at the semis or finals of the final weekend. But that first week is like, how do we get through that, right? So it'll be interesting because, especially for the young players, because they haven't really done it before.
Yeah.
So, they've had these odd big wins, like, Koric beat Rafa in the fall last year. Question mark behind that one because Rafa was pretty much, not feeling great, still playing. But a win's a win, right? They step on the court, you still got to go out and do the job. So you can question it all you want after, but you still got to go out and win. Kyrgios, the Australian kid, I mean, he obviously beat Rafa at Wimbledon, and he's got a little bit of that sort of that flair to him, you know. But again, best of 5, big stage. You know, we'll see how they, you know, what they do and how they come up. So it is quite interesting. So yeah, I mean, if I had to, you know, I don't think Fed, out of all the guys, as well as he's been playing recently, just winning in his 1,000th match in Brisbane, that's just crazy. 1,000 matches to win. But I don't think he would look at it and be like, honestly, if he were to be open about how he felt, when you've got Murray, Nadal, Dimitrov, Robredo, Coric, and Kyrgios, and you know what I mean, in your half, you can't be thrilled. You know what I mean? No matter how well you're playing, right? It just means there's a lot. So who knows? I mean, there could be some typical standard matchups, like towards the quarters and the semis, you know, with Fed and Murray or Fed and Nadal, or, you know, those types of typical matchups. Or, you know, you could have, you know, the guys like Dimitrov or Coric or Kyrgios, you know, kind of, you know, making their statement. I think Novak's got to be on top, feeling pretty good about himself.